everybody, Lord Tremendous here. Got another battle report here for you. 2,500 point battle report number 14. This is game 2 of 3 of the mini Tremendicon 2016 that we had. The New Orleans crew came up, and it was 4 of them, but I only got to play 3 of them. One of them wasn't feeling well. And we had some great games, and you get to see the second one now. 'Tis I, Lord Tremendous of the Ogre Cons, versus Bizarro Humongous, also of the Ogre Cons. He brought a really, really unique list, too. A really cool list that I think you're going to like, and I'm actually going to explain it to you. So sit back, relax, and get ready to see how this one goes. Here's my list, and nothing has changed, because changing my list up in the middle of a Tremendicon would be, well, it'd be tantamount to cheating, if not flat-out cheating. I'm not really sure. My lore choice, of course, is my great shaman, Kaka Shabadu. He's a level 3 wizard with Heart Ripper, Demon Heart, Talisman of Greater Shielding, the Charm of Cursed Iron, and the Path of Butchery. Next up are my hero choices. I have my Khan. He's my BSB. He's got a great weapon, Mithril Mail, Gemstone Amulet, Skull of Quanghet, or something like that, and the Rotten Jaw Big Name. Next up, I have my Shaman, the Combuster. He's a level 2 wizard with Skull Splitter, Talisman of Lesser Shielding, and the Path of Fire. And of course, my last hero choice is my Mammoth Hunter, the man, the myth, the legend, Lord Tremendous. He's got an Iron Fist, an Ogre Crossbow, he uses the Armor of Destiny, he's got the Headhunter Big Name, and he's on a Tusker. And if you see him on the table, it might be the last thing you ever see. Next up, I have my core choices, which consist of 7 Tribesmen with Banner Musician, Iron Fist, and Heavy Armor. A unit of 5 tribesmen with Banner Musician, Iron Fist, Heavy Armor, and the Banner of Discipline, so that my general has Leadership 9 instead of Leadership 8. And then rounding off my core choices, I have 4 Bruisers that I use mostly as Heavy Chaff. For my special choices, I have a unit of 5 Scrappling Trappers. Then I have a second unit of 5 Scrappling Trappers. I have a unit of 6 Mercenary Veterans with Banner, Musician, Iron Fists, Lethal Strike, Thunderous Charge, and the Banner of Speed, because they need to get in your face quick. 6 inches just isn't enough. And then I have Milady, the Kin Eater, Lady Elizabeth. Best damn model I have in the army. For my rare choices, I have my Scratapult. And then I have the bedrock of my army, my Frost Mammoth, Rufus, with 2 Ogre Crossbows. God, I love this model. And yes, my wife is currently painting this one. It looks incredible. Hopefully by battle report 17 or so, you'll get to see him fully painted, and that'll be outstanding. So that's going to do it for my list. Normally, I would just throw my opponent's list together and play some music and let you pause and see what he took. But this opponent is a favorite opponent of mine. I really look forward to my opportunities to play against him, which are few and far between, unfortunately. And I am so, I guess, impressed with his army, especially what his name choices are. I'm actually going to go through and talk about his army with you. So that'll be fun. And if you don't want to hear that, then go ahead and fast forward. Probably around the 10-minute mark is when the game will actually start. Okay, like I explained before, my opponent, the Humongous Army List, he kind of did like a cover band for not only me, but like all YouTubers when it comes to 9th Age or just fantasy games in general. So we start off now with his Lord. He's got a great Khan, a Khan named Sue. He's got the Heart Ripper, Mammoth Hide Cloak, Gem of Dragonfire, the Arak's Charm, and Troll Eater. And this is just a spoof. This is a character that was like a Bizarro guy named after the owner of our local game store. We're all friends. It was funny, but I love that his great Khan is actually named after the owner of the local game store. That's awesome. Next up, we have his hero choices, and he's got a bunch. He's got a Khan, a Nigerian Prince Khan. Not really sure where he's going with that, but I respect it. What can you do? He's got his BSB, or it's his BSB, and he's got an Iron Fist and a Scepter of Dominion. Then he's got a Mammoth Hunter, Lord Gargantuous, who's got an Axebreaker Gauntlet, the Armor of Fortune, and a Tusker. So, yes, he does have a lot of models that are pseudo kitted out and in there because of my army lists. But wait, it's not over yet. He's also got a second Mammoth Hunter, Lord Ginormous, who's got an Iron Fist, the Gambler's Armor, the Potion of Strength, and he's on a Tusker. So that's two Mammoth Hunters on Tuskers, and then he's got a third, not once, not twice, but thrice, Lord Humongous with the Sword of Strength, Hardened Shield, Talisman of Greater Shielding, and he's also on a Tusker. That's right. So you thought Lord Tremendous on a Tusker was rough. I get to face off against three of them plus a Great Khan. Yeah. So I'm really like, wow, this is going to be a rough list to fight against because I don't know how well I'm going to do against him. I have a plan, but God knows my plans don't always come to fruition. Next up, he's got his core choices, which consist of 11 tribesmen, the Peanut Gallery, with full command, Iron Fist, heavy armor, and the Banner of Discipline. And he's also got a unit of 50 scraplings, the AOS apostates, with banner, musician, foreman, and short bows. So yeah, his core choices consist of a big wall of meat and a big wall of pointy strength 3 shooting things. Now for his special choices, things get a little funny. He's got a Kin Eater, Eddie Izzard's Death. He's got a second Kin Eater, Wheezy Beth, and a third Kin Eater, which is Lizard's Breath. So I have Lady Elizabeth as a Kin Eater. He's got 3 different Kin Eaters, all with spoof names based off of her name, which honestly I thought was kind of clever. Shoring up his special choices are a unit of 3 Tusker Cavalry, Cause of Much Lamentations, which is just kind of a funny name based off of Narrations and Lamentations with Mitterum and the boys. We miss you, Mitterum, so much. He's got full command, great weapons, and heavy armor on that unit. And then his rare choice is a Rock a Rock, or as he likes to call it, a Box of Rocks a Rocks. Just like saying that. Oh, if I ever take a rock, I might have to name him the Box of Rocks or Rocks. Oh, I have a simple mind that makes me giggle. So this list is, well, it's very humbling because it's a playful play off of my list and using names from YouTube and stuff like that, and my army and stuff. I like that, but also it's going to be a rock solid list to go up against. He's got a wall of meat with his tribesmen. He's got a BSB and a Great Khan, which are no joke. He's got 3 Mammoth Hunters on Tuskers with all sorts of different hard kits. He's got 3 Kin Eaters, and then he's got a Box of Rocks, and then like the easiest unit to deal with is a 50 friggin' man unit of scraplings. Holy crap! This is going to be a good game. Here are my spells, which are exactly what you're looking at. And here's deployment. For the most part, I think he won the table sides thing, so I deployed first, and I just threw everything down. On the right flank, I put my tribesmen with my shaman there, thinking, hey, maybe I can, come around the flank there and maybe do some damage that way. I got my bruises over there just in case he throws something over there that I don't feel like feeding my tribesmen to because my general will run right out. I got my Scratapult up there because I was figuring he was going to put his scraplings in the runes for the 5-up, what's it called? A hard cover save and stuff like that. But when he didn't, what can you do? I, of course, have my Merc Vets, my BSB, and my big unit of tribesmen in the middle, just ready to fight them on all fronts. I've got my Frost Mammoth Rufus in the middle there to just, I need to bring down his initiative so I can kill him before he can kill me. I've got the Combustor in the woods there, number 1 for the soft cover. Number 2, if anything goes in there, hopefully it'll be, it'll take dangerous terrain checks, or maybe it'll take, maybe it'll be unsteadfast, things like that. So that was kind of the hope there if they go after the Combustor. I know there's Gorgers coming, and I'm not looking forward to that. I've also got my tribesmen in the runes on the left and on the right side there, and that's just so that anything that goes in there has to take dangerous terrain. If you want them, you got to earn it. And I've got Lord Tremendous all the way on the left flank there. He's going to shoot up the side there past the ruins, come around the corner, and try to kill him. Also, with the ruins there, I was kind of using them as kind of like a bluff, because I'll charge Lord Tremendous through the ruins. He's got a 4 board save against a dangerous terrain check, so I figured it's a 50-50, and I've got to roll. Well, at this point, I would have to roll. No, only once, because Monsters Cav don't care about runes. But it would only be a DT1 test because I have my trappers in there, and they have trapped the hell out of those runes. So that was kind of my game plan when I set up. He kind of set up the way I thought he would. I figured his Rock would be where his Tuskers are in the middle there. I figured those two would be swapped around. But other than that, for the most part, he set up exactly as I thought he would, and I was okay with that. I know this isn't going to be an easy game at all, so I was very nervous. I actually thought I was going to lose. Well, you may or may not be disappointed with my prediction. We'll find out. Here's my opponent's right flank, which from left to right consists of a Kin Eater that he did not ambush with, obviously. There's also, I think that's Lord Ginormous right there. He's got, and then his big brick of 50 scraplings or whatever they are. Here's his center, which consists of his 3 Tuskers and his unit of 11 Tribesmen with his General and his BSB installed. And look at that banner right there. That thing is friggin' incredible. That's why I like playing against this guy. He's always got the most wonderful friggin' conversions. I love it. And here's his left flank. From right to left, I think that's Lord Humongous on the right. That's obviously the Boxer-Rox. I can't help it. The Rock, the Boxer-Rox. And then on the left, I think that's Lord Humongous or something. I don't remember. They're one of the damn Mammoth Hunters on a Tusker. Here's my right flank, which consists of up top there my Trappers, my Scratapult, my Bruisers, and my Tribesmen with my General. In my center, from right to left, I got my Tribesmen with my BSB, I've got my Frost Mammoth Rufus, and I got my big unit of Merc Vets. And on my left flank, from right to left, I got the Combustor in the forest there, I got my other unit of Scrapling Trappers in the ruins up top, and I got Lord Tremendous all the way on the left side. Here's top 1 after movement, and I got to go first. Yay! So, yeah, after some careful considerations and stuff like that, I moved my trappers up and to the left there in the ruins just to try to bait the Gorger. I figure I could shoot at him, maybe force some dangerous terrain checks if he charges them, maybe even slip some wound through and kill him with my trappers, or at least severely wound him. The Combustor comes out of the forest in order to get in the range to shoot and do some magic. Lord Tremendous decides, screw shooting up the side there. I don't want to get caught in combat and bogged down against the damn Gorger. That would be a huge waste. So I move him over towards the right to see if I can't get any lucky charges, because I have the inclination that he's just going to push straight forward. Not 100% on that, but why not? I move my middle there, my core in the center there, straight forward about 10 inches or so. It's not an easy charge for him, but if he rolls boxcars and makes it, so be it. And then my Tribesmen just kind of turn in place because I want to throw some augments on my unit. I'm not real keen on sending them up against 2 Mammoth Hunters on Tuskers and a Rock. And then, of course, my Bruisers just kind of stay there. They come down the hill a little bit, but I know he's coming to me, so there's no reason to move him forward. Meanwhile, my Scratapult moves over to get a better shot, better line of sight on these Scraplings. That's it for movement. Nothing happens in magic or shooting. My shot goes way off center, and my shooting just fails to do anything, or he makes his save. So we go over here to bottom of 1, and he comes forward. He doesn't charge anything, but yeah, his Gorger shoots over past the ruins there. He's not buying it, and the rest of his stuff comes up pretty cautious. As you can see, he's formed a little bit of a horseshoe pattern so that I can charge and he can countercharge a turn after. I'm going to fall for it because I'm excited. On the right side, there's 2 other Mammoth Hunters and his Boxer-Rox comes forward, but it's conservative. You know, he doesn't want to have to take a frenzy check because his General and his BSB are just out of range. Well, his General definitely is, maybe not his BSB, but that'd be close. And that's really about it. Things just kind of cautiously move up. So nothing happens in his round. He has no shamans on the table or bound spells, so he has no magic phase. And his shooting consists pretty much of just the Scraplings, and they don't have... I mean, they shot, but they weren't able to do anything to my Merc Vets. So we go over here to top of 2, and I realize that he's got the 2 Mammoth Hunters on my right flank and the big rock. So it makes me a little nervous, but I realize by sacrificing my tribesmen and my bruisers to hold those guys there, I'm going to lose them. I know that, but I might be able to save my scrap launcher. I should be able to keep my my trappers in there for a while and harass them for a little bit. So I'm going to sacrifice these units to this wall of death that he's got on my right flank, and therefore let the rest of my army on the left flank take care of his army on my left flank, and then what's ever left can come over and hopefully finish off the 2 Mammoth Hunters and the Rock. It's a plan. I didn't say it was a good one. The rest of my army, I don't charge yet because, it's like which one of us is going to blink first. Lord Tremendous moves up kind of near the what's it called, the ruins, so he can get a better shot at the Gorger and try to kill it. My trappers, seeing a chance, they move around to shoot at the Gorger. My Merc Vets, my Tribesmen, my BSB, and my Frost Mammoth all back the hell up. I don't want him to get an easy charge on me, but if he could fail a charge, it would be huge. And as you can see, my general runs out into the middle of my backfield there to try to get off some augments and maybe even do some damage to his unit with one of his spells. That's about it. Oh, I'm sorry. Lord Tremendous did try to charge the Gorger. I figured hit the Gorger, slam into the Scraplings, and if anything charged into me after that, I would just put all my attacks into the Scraplings and hopefully, with Combat Riz, break some guys, or at least stay there so that my other things could countercharge that. But I failed my charge, and I failed it so perfectly that I didn't have to take any dangerous terrain for going into the ruins. So it kind of worked out, but I would prefer to go in and make it. During the magic phase, the Combustor uses Fireball and puts 3 wounds through on his Kin Eater that's on the table, and that's huge. And just because I was a little bit nervous of making a long-distance charge, I put Regen. I got Regen off on my Tribesmen, so I don't know if he's got Flaming attacks or anything like that because I don't look at your list. I take pictures of it, but I don't really look it over because I feel like that's cheating. So I don't know if he's got Flaming attacks or whatnot, but I figured throwing Regen on these guys couldn't hurt. During the shooting phase, Rufus fires his 2 Ogre crossbows at the Tusker Cav, and 1 wound gets through, which was awesome. And then my Scratapult direct hits perfectly on the Scraplings. I hit like 40 models, 45 models, something insane. So when I'm done rolling the wound and everything like that, I end up killing all but like 19 of these guys. Over half the damn unit dies. They do make their break check because the general's right there, but oh my god, that unit just went from a pretty big irritant to not threatening at all. And then my trappers on the right flank there throw a bunch of sticks and stones at the Mammoth Hunter over here and are able to slip a wound through. Those magnificent bastards. Unkillable characters, my left butt cheek. So with that over, we go over here to bottom of 2 after movement, and he charges a lot, but as you can see, all of his charges fail. On the right flank, his 2 Mammoth Hunters, the one on the right charged the Bruisers and failed. The one on the left charged Tribesmen and failed. And I think maybe his Cav tried to charge my Tribesmen in the middle there and failed as well. So everything that tried to charge failed on his side, but it didn't fail a ton on the left flank. On the right flank, yeah, they moved up like 5-6 inches each, but not really enough to make it like, ooh, I've got you now. So I was still pretty nervous. But on the left flank there, I'm thinking, okay, my Merc Vets are going to charge into the Cav, and with Lethal Strike, hopefully take them all out. But that's what I was hoping for. But yeah, that's about it. A Gorger does come on the table. I just can't remember where. I think somewhere on the left flank going after my Combustor. But other than that, things kind of move up slowly, cautiously. As you can see, the Gorger kind of gets in the way of his Mammoth Hunter, so I can't just charge him directly with my Merc Vets, and that's really about it. There's a better picture of his, see, it might have been his Mammoth Hunter that tried to charge my Merc Vets. Something over here tried to charge my Merc Vets and failed. I just cannot remember what it was. And there's a better picture of one of his Mammoth Hunters failing a charge into my Tribesmen. And there's a better picture of his other Mammoth Hunter failing a charge at my Bruisers. I got really, really lucky here. During the shooting phase, his Scraplings get a little bit of revenge and are able to slip a wound through on my Mercenary Veterans, and that doesn't surprise me. Scraplings are really good at the whole shooting thing. And with that all said and done, we go over here to top of 3 after movement. I charge. My bruisers on the right flank there, they go into his Mammoth Hunter and make it. My tribesmen charge his other Mammoth Hunter and fail miserably. I think I rolled a 3. It sucked. And then my Merc Vets, super disappointing. They charged his Tusker Cav and failed by an inch. I needed an 8 and I rolled a 7. Really, really sucked. But what can you do? Lord Tremendous did make his charge into the Gorger, and the hope there was that I would kill the Gorger because he only had one stupid wound left, and then I could overrun into his Tusker Cav. I was hoping to help out the Mercenary Vets, and then overrun with the Merc Vets, and then turn to face Lord Tremendous towards his Mammoth Hunter or maybe his Ogres. I didn't really care. But no, the Merc Vets failed their charge and are probably going to get countercharged next turn. So now I'm really worried. So 2 of my charges out of 4 went through. That's not great. There's a better picture of my bruisers making a charge into this guy, and I don't think this is a great idea, but it was either I charge him or he charges me, and I like impact hits, so I figured why not. There's a better picture of my tribesmen failing their charge at the Mammoth Hunter, and yeah, I don't think the Mammoth Hunter is going to fail 2 charges in a row. There's a better picture of my Merc Vets failing a charge into the Cav, because the dice gods giveth and they taketh away. And there's a better picture of Lord Tremendous making his charge into the Kin Eater. During the magic phase, I desperately get regen off on my Merc Vets because I know they're getting charged next turn, and I mean, with only a 4-up armor save, they need something. Like I said, it was desperate, and I ended up rolling a miscast 5 in order to get it off, which isn't great. I think I used 4 dice to cast it, so I was really close to having the potential of just destroying my poor shaman. In the end, though, it's not terrible. He just ends up taking a wound and, of course, ending my magic phase. During the shooting phase, Rufus, man, he must have spent some time at the shooting range this week because he shoots and he hits and he wounds yet again with one of the crossbows into the Cav. I might not need to charge these guys. I might just need to have just Rufus shoot at him for a while. And then I shoot with the Scratapult, and I was aiming for the center of the Tusker Cav. I was hoping to slip another wound through and kill a base and then force a panic check. I know it was unlikely, but stranger things have happened. But the wind and the dice gods had other plans, and it scatters 8 inches off of dude's head and lands yet again on the Scraplings. I think I hit 15 this time, as well as I hit the one Mammoth Hunter, and the Gorger gets clipped as well. So not the worst miss I've ever had. But after the dust settles, the Gorger and the Mammoth Hunter are fine. I couldn't even hurt them, but his Scraplings go down to about 13 models, 12 or 13 models. I kill a decent amount. And they pass their panic check again, but that was awesome. We go into combat, and Lord Tremendous has no trouble putting the impact hits through that kill the Gorger, and then he overruns perfectly, corner to corner, into his Tusker Cav. There is just a little tiny gap between him and the Scraplings, and that's flippin' awesome. And yes, going straight forward, I did miss the Scraplings and hit the Cav first, and only, by the way. Over here, it doesn't go terrible. I'm able to slam into him, and I lose one guy, take 3 wounds, one guy dies, and in return, I'm able to put 2 onto him. So, charge, 2 wounds, and I charge downhill. To his 3 wounds, I win by 1. But he's leadership 9 and makes his check, but he's only got 1 wound left, so I'm hoping that maybe my bruises actually finish him off. But yeah, with that, combat's done, and we go over here to bottom of 3 after movement. And there's been some. His box a rock, charge into my bruisers and make it no problem. And with 3d3 strength 7 hits into those guys, they are DED. I mean, there is no hope for them whatsoever. I believe his tribesmen don't try to charge or anything. I think that was his only charge. I think everything else just kind of comes up and starts putting some pressure on me. I'm sorry, that's not true. His Lord ginormous, I think, charges into the rear of Lord Tremendous, and then his scraplings charge into the flank of him, and I didn't see that coming. But after thinking about it, after he did it, I was like, you know what, that makes sense because he's going to challenge. I have to accept. And with charge, rear, flank, rank, banner, he's already up by 6 to my nothing. Well, I got a charge, so he's up by 5. It's not looking good. It's not looking good at all, and I did not see that. I got overexcited. So that sucks. Other than that, his other Mammoth Hunter in the middle there did charge my tribesman. Instead, he runs down the middle there, passes his movement check, his leadership check to march, and moves into the position where you see him now. And honestly, that surprised me. I couldn't charge him in the rear with my Scratapult, and I don't think that would have been a great idea because my tribesmen are in the way. And I don't want. I think he was hunting my character, but honestly, that's what Gorgers are for. Meanwhile, his other Gorger came on the table. It didn't last turn. Only one came in. But there at the bottom left there where you can see him. So other than that, like I said, his tribesmen to move up a little bit, and that's really about it for movement. There's a better picture of my opponent about to just obliterate my bruisers. And there's a better picture of my opponent about to obliterate poor Lord Tremendous because I got greedy. I honestly didn't think he was going to charge his scraplings into my flank because it's just combat res. And I also did not see the fact that his character could see the rear of my character and make the charge. He did take some dangerous terrain tests, but he made them no problem. Completely my fault. We go into combat because there's no magic or shooting, and holy crap, the Iraq just obliterates my guy. He does 8 impact hits and all 8 wound. I've got no saves against it, and with 1 wound left on one guy, I was just like, throw a die, and he hit, and he wounded, and he died. So, I mean, I had great weapons. He was getting all of his attacks before I even thought about swinging. Really, really bad charge on my part, but I know they really can't complain because it was charge or be charged, and they did do their job. They're a speed bump. They're holding off a lot of points on the right side. I've only given up 144, so I can't complain. The one good thing here, and I realized it after he charged me, was the Rock is frenzied, and he has to overrun. So he overruns into the trapped ruins and has to take dangerous terrain checks because my trappers were in there and stuff. It's 46, and he ends up taking 2 wounds onto his Rock. So that's actually really cool. It's not even close to dead, but it isn't full health now, and so when I have to deal with it later, I at least it's a third of the way dead. So that's huge for me. Over here, just like I thought, his character issues a challenge. I have to accept. He does a wound to me. I think I do a wound to him, but yeah, he's got me by 5. BSB is out of range, and so I don't get a reroll. I need a 4 to stick around, and I do not roll a 4 at all. I break. I get run down like no problem, and Lord Tremendous is dead due to my overconfidence. Really, really stupid on my part, but well played on my opponents. The only real plus side I see on this is that neither of his units were able to overrun or pursue far enough to catch or to run into one of my other units, so I get the counter charge pretty aggressively next turn, and I'm excited about that. I'm you know, it wasn't the way I wanted to do it. I hate it when I lose Lord Tremendous, but at least there's a silver lining, right? So we go over here to top of 4 after movement, and holy crap, I had to make some decisions. So my, what's it called? My Frost Mammoth charges his Cav, and they flee. And I'm like, okay, cool. My Merc Vets are going to charge them as well. Or I'm not charge them, but they're going to charge your Ogres. And so he's like, all right, cool. And I have a little bit of a rules question for you guys. I can't find it in the rules anywhere where it's obvious. Probably just because I'm not seeing it. But when my Merc Vets charged his Ogres, they did clip his Cav in order to get there. We just counted it as going past them and stuff like that. It wasn't a huge big deal, but they would have clipped the cav. I'm not sure if they would have died because of that or not. I know in 8th they would have, but I couldn't find it in the 9th Age rules. So if you're better with the rules than I am and you see it, if you could give me the reference and the page number, I will dedicate the next battle report to you. I swear it. So we played it like this, though, in order for it to be fair for my opponent, because it just would have benefited me. I said, you know what, screw it. Those guys fled. We're going to ignore them. I'm not going to just take out your cav like that without knowing for sure, without having a black and white rule to point at. So, I haven't been able to find it, so if you guys do, that'd be great. My Frost Mammoth charged his Mammoth Hunter because I was curious to see how he would do. I wanted to see if he could get into combat and hold off against something like that, and what better way to figure it out. I thought about charging with my Tribesman and my BSB, but I didn't want to leave that other Mammoth Hunter just all by himself in my backfield with 2 Gorgers backing him up. That made me really nervous, so they turned to face him, trying to, force the charge. My Caster's Pastor, not my Combustor, he actually just moved normal, but my General, he passes leadership check to March, and so he runs out of range, so he can't be charged next turn, and my Tribes and everything like that, they adjust to better attack him or accept his attacks next turn, and my Scratapult is just going to try to shoot at something and maybe do a wound or 2. That's about it for movement. There's a better picture of Rufus slamming into the Mammoth or the Mammoth Hunter, and I'm very curious to see how this one's going to go. There's a better picture of my Mercenary Veterans and Lady Elizabeth slamming into this unit of Tribesmen with his General and his BSB attached. I forgot about Lady Elizabeth charging in there. I'm sorry. She needs to be painted so I can see her better on these slides. But yes, they slammed into there, and I'm hoping that I do really well against this unit because it's really going to make or break this game, There's a better picture of his Tusker Cav fleeing. During a magic phase, nothing happens. He's just able to stop everything I try to put out, or it just doesn't do anything, which sucks. However, during the shooting phase, the Combustor uses the Skull Splitter and is able to slip 1 wound through on the Kin Eater there that's in front of him. Not great, but what can you do? And then over here, I find out that I way overestimated the abilities of the Frost Mammoth in combat. I'm able to slip a wound or 2 through on this guy. He does 2 back. No, I'm able to slip 1 wound through on him. He does 2 back. So charging a wound to 2 wounds, it's a wash. It is a drawn combat, and that sucks because I got Gorges in my back end next turn, and I know it. So we go over here in combat, and holy crap, my Mercenary Vets are able to kill 4 of his Tribesmen. I do 12 unsaved wounds to this guy. Thunder's Charge made all the difference. Being Strength 6 in close combat was beautiful because it just ate up his armor. He had nothing else. Lady Elizabeth, though, steals the show. I don't even mind telling you. She puts all of her attacks into the BSB because after all the Tribesmen are dead, she was in base to base with him. So she puts all of her attacks into the BSB, hits all 4 times thanks to Hatred, and then wounds all 4 times. I rolled 4 6s. It was literally the Dice God's blessing. And all 4 got through. The BSB didn't make any of his saves, and he died. Elizabeth killed a con BSB from behind in 1 round of combat by herself. It was amazing. The only reason that unit... I ended up losing a Mercenary Vet for my trouble, and I took a wound or 2 after that. But the only reason this unit doesn't immediately break and run off is because just when the combat started, he used that Scepter of Dominion or whatever, which made the unit stubborn, and he made his stubborn check. So what can you do? But holy crap, that's a game-changing combat right there. And Elizabeth is just awesome. So we go over here to bottom of 4 after movement, and of course both of his Gorgers go into the rear of my Frost Mammoth, and I can't fault him for that. That's a great play. His Scraplings turn around to face my Scrapling Trappers, and they're just going to get into a big shooting match. His Tusker Cav rally and then turn to face the Merc Vets and Lady Elizabeth, and so if I don't break this unit in this round of combat, I'm going to have some real problems. I'm probably going to lose my Mercenary Vets. His, what's it called? what's it called? The other Mammoth Hunter there on the right flank shoots over towards the middle because he's got to get back into this fight. His Rock, he just kind of forgets about him until a little bit after I take this picture, and he moves him just towards our back right to try to get an angle on the Scratapult, which I'm not giving that up at all. And his other Mammoth Hunter is dead center in the middle there, looking at the rear of my mercenary veterans. So if I don't win and break and get out of this combat this turn, my guys might be screwed. There's a better picture of his two kin eaters slamming into the rear of my Frost Mammoth, and that is so bad. There is no magic, and his shooting doesn't do anything, but so we go into combat, and yes, they eviscerate Rufus. It's really, really bad. I try to attack. I try to put some wounds into the Gorgers, and poor Rufus, I think, knew it was coming, and I'm not able to do anything. In fact, the one wound I was able to put through on a Gorger, he regens. After that, they were able to put the last, 4 wounds through on him and kill him all by themselves. It was devastating, and I'm going to need a minute to get over it. And then after combat, he reforms like this, facing his Gorgers towards my casters, which, that if I can avoid it, that's not going to happen. Then over here, yeah, I'm able to kill off most of the tribesmen. I think he's got 2 or 3 left. His general, no, he's got 4 tribesmen left at the end, and his general. I lose 1 more guy, and I think Elizabeth takes a wound. It's not much. I've got him by a lot. He is no longer stubborn, nor is he steadfast, but he breaks, which is huge. However, he does get away. I send Lady Elizabeth after them. She does not catch them, and but my Merc Vet's restrained because I have a Mammoth Hunter and Cav looking at me, and I didn't want to give them the rear and or flank charge. So they were able to restrain, and they turned to face the Cav because I figured they were the bigger threat. And if his Mammoth Hunter is able to charge into Elizabeth, maybe she can hold him up a little bit and catch him. But it's my turn next, so hopefully Elizabeth is way out of the way because I'm going to have her charge the fleeing unit and hopefully run them down. But the fact that they broke gave me a chance, and I'm hoping to capitalize on it. So we go over here to top of 5 after movement, and yes! Elizabeth charges that unit, and she catches them. So she ends up right there. She's not off the board, but the unit is destroyed. She catches them and scatters them. Oh, she did awesome. My mercenary vets, who are on a roll, slam into the Cav because might as well. Strength 6 with lethal strike, might as well. I know it doesn't affect my impact hits, just in case you were wondering. I know Thunder's Charge doesn't affect my impact hits, so it's just their close combat. But we're looking at, 5, 10, 15, 18 attacks at Strength 6. That should be enough to do 7 wounds to this unit and kill them, and possibly overrun into the scraplings for the just the hat trick. But we'll see. Don't want to count my chickens or nothing. My combustor, he moves back a little bit because he's got 2 Gorgers looking right at him, but I don't want him to march, so I can't use the skull splitter, so he just goes back 6 inches, and I just make my peace with the fact I'm probably going to lose him. My general, he's able to march, and he falls back in the hopes of firing off maybe Bone Crusher and killing off one of the other Gorgers. I don't know. The one with the wound on him is the priority because he's the closest to my general. I don't want him to get killed. My tribesmen shift around in order to try to get a hold of either the Gorgers or the character, whichever is easier. My other unit of tribesmen moved off the hill to come after him, and my Scratapult moves as far over to the left as he can to shoot. I want to put that last wound through on that damn Mammoth Hunter on the right flank there, so my trappers also go after him, and that's about it for movement. There's a better picture of Lady Elizabeth catching that unit, and that was huge. Catching the general and finishing off the tribesman. That may have just won me the game. There's a better picture of my Merc Vet slamming into the Tuskers, and hopefully that goes my way. During the magic phase, the combustor gets fireball off on that right Gorger and is able to destroy him, and that's really helpful because now I think my general is going to be okay. And then I'm able to get, what's it called? Brain Slurper off on them, on the Tusker Cav. And they don't have to take the panic check because they're in combat, but I got the boosted version off, which gives all of the units hatred against that. So now I'm almost positive I've got that unit, right? In order to do it, though, I did it with overwhelming power. I only threw 3 dice at it, but it ended up being a miscast 3, which I'm glad I only threw 3 dice at it, because now while my guy does take the damage and it ends my magic phase, at least he can't get destroyed. So, it doesn't end up hurting me at all. It just ends up ending my magic phase. So it's not the worst miscast that could have possibly happened, but I wasn't looking for one either. I was hoping to get one more spell off. Shooting my scraplings, they fire at his scraplings, and I think I'm able to kill 1 or 2, which is something. And then over here, my Scratapult fires at this guy, trying to put that last wound through on him, but I misfire. And I end up misfiring 4, which sucks because now I can't shoot this turn or next. But, you know what? My Scratapult did real well this game so far, and it's not out of it. I still can use him as a chariot. It's just one of those things where it's like, man, I don't like misfiring. I don't think anybody likes misfiring. I think that's the point, but what can you do? Over here, things go incredibly well. Not only do I swing first, but I hit and wound like 11 times, and he does not make his saves. I think he had a 6 up on them, and that was about it. And yeah, it was beautiful. I destroyed the entire unit before they could so much as swing back. Then I overrun boxcars, which is exactly what I needed in order to slam into his Mammoth Hunter that killed my Frost Mammoth. So, killed them off. Oh yeah, and the scraplings broke. They panicked from unit destroyed within 6, and so they were out of the way. I slam into the Mammoth Hunter, and all is glorious. I get this bastard in combat, and hopefully I get to kill him and move on before the end of the game. So that went pretty much perfectly. So we go over here to bottom of 5, and there's not a ton. I think his Gorger tried to charge my Combustor and failed. I'm not 100% on that one. I know his Boxaroxarock did charge my Scratapult, which failed its terror check and fled off the table. And where he's at on the board there in the bottom middle is where he ended up. The Rockarock could not redirect anything, so it just ended up there with a failed charge, which actually works out because now it's out of the game. It can't get in this game and destroy anything else. So it did take out my Bruisers, it did take out my Scratapult, it did make up its points and then some, but it didn't get anything to anything real juicy, so I'm not completely upset with how I dealt with it. Would have preferred it if I was able to kill it, but you know, I'm also a brat, so what can you do? These other 2 Mammoth Hunters, they run up into the middle there to just countercharge if they can because they weren't in range with anything else. And his Scraplings fail to rally, and they only run like 2 inches, like literal snake eyes, back into the ruins. So what can you do? Here's a better picture of my Scratapult fleeing off the table. And in all fairness, it's a Rock. I get why it fled. And I'm sorry, his Kin Eater charged my General and failed, so I got real lucky there. We go into combat, and my mercenary veterans are able to kill his character. We went Simo, and they were able to finish this thing off. Just straight up killed it in combat, which was beautiful. I did lose another mercenary vet for my trouble, but that was a very good trade on my end. So we go over here to top of 6 after movement, and my mercenary veterans, they turn to face the mammoths behind them, and they charge his other character with 1 wound on him, because I just figured I might as well go for the guaranteed points, and we charge there, and we make it no problem. My tribesmen, my BSB, they charge into the Gorger that tried to kill my general, and they make it. My other unit of small tribesmen, they shoot 12 inches away so that Rock can't charge them and get them with, you know, the long distance charge. And to be perfectly honest, I forget all about my damn Combustor and my Trappers because I'm concerned about the Gorger and I'm concerned about the Mammoth Hunter my Merc Vets are in combat with. So everything else just stays right where I left it, including Elizabeth, who's in the back there, I've also completely forgotten about. There's a better picture of my tribesman slamming into this Gorger, and I'm hoping to kill this thing no problem. There's a better picture of my mercenary veteran slamming into his one of his Mammoth Hunters. And with only 1 wound left on him, I'm hoping I can kill him no problem. During the magic phase, I get the big fireball off on his Mammoth Hunter. And it It's not terrible. It's not terrible at all. I ended up putting 2 wounds through on him, which was 2 more than I actually thought I was going to get. I was just trying to pull out some Dispel dice. Then over here, I get regen off on my Merc Vets because, you know what? I know when my luck is starting to wane, and I want to definitely boost the odds in my favor. So we go into combat over here, and I am only able to do 3 wounds to the Kin Eater. He doesn't do anything back to me, but unfortunately, he's unbreakable, so I'm stuck there now. Not that I was planning on going anywhere, but I was kind of hoping to get those points and reform for whatever reason. And then after combat, his Kin Eater is able to make his leadership check and turn to face. Thanks to the gloriousness that is my Merc Vets with Thunder's Charge, I am able to slip the last wound through on his character. He does slip a wound through on my unit, but it would have been 3 had it not been for regen. So I kill his Mammoth Hunter, everything around makes their break check, and then I reform like this just in case this guy wants to try to charge me or whatever. It's going to be bottom of 6 soon, so I just figured it was smart to turn to face. So with that over, we go over here to bottom of 6 after moving, and it turns out I was wrong. His mammoth guy on a Tusker could see the tribesman no problem, and he just charged right past him, slamming right into my flank. Turned out it was a flank charge. Thought it was a rear, turned out to be a flank. It was pretty close, actually. So he ends up in the flank of my tribesman, and that's really it. We don't even bother with the scraplings. Who cares if they rally or not? And his Rock is over there on the right, just, licking his toes. I don't know what the hell he's doing. That's it for movement. There's a bit of picture of his, his Mammoth Hunter slamming into the flank of that unit and turning that combat into a big smorgasbord. And then we go into combat, and I'm able to kill off his Kin Eater and put 1 more wound through on his Mammoth Hunter. He's able to do a wound to me, 2 wounds, 2 banners, and a rank to his charge, flank, and a wound. I win by 2. He makes his break check, and that's it. There it is. There's the end of the game, and as you can see, it went very well for the home team. I'm not going to lie, I know a lot of it was luck, but at the same time, holy crap were the odds stacked against me in my head. 3 Lord Tremenduses, 3 Lady Elizabeths, big-ass wall of tribesmen with a Great Khan and a BSB installed, the Rock, the Box-a-Rock, and 50 Scraplings. I mean, let's face it, this was not a fluffy list. I was very worried. But honestly, I think his lack of magic really hurt him a lot and really helped me a lot. And I also think that this was a great game because I got to show that there's no such thing as unkillable characters. 3 of them died in this game. But we're going to get to the recap in a minute because I need a break and Captain Picard has a message for you.
Make it so.
Well, it was definitely a victory for Lord Tremendous. I got 2,455 points out of him. He got 714 out of me for a difference of 1,741. I ended up losing Lord Tremendous, my Bruisers, my Scratapult, and Rufus, which actually hurts a lot more than I want to admit. Playing against this list was amazing. I really, really am thrilled that he brought a list like this. I got to prove, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that unkillable characters, the Mammoth Hunters, do not exist. 4 Mammoth Hunters on Tuskers died in this game to prove it. My guy was broken combat, and I was able to kill, I think, 2 or 3 of his. So, no, I'm sorry, 3 Mammoth Hunters died in this game. Lord Tremendous, Lord Ginormous, and Lord Humongous, I think, died in this one, with the last one basically on his last wound. So out of 4 Mammoth Hunters, none of them secured their, were alive at the end of the game, with the exception of 1, and he was almost dead. You know where I'm going with this. Bottom line is this game really did prove a lot of things, and that was a lot of fun. Another thing about this game that I really enjoyed is that it inspired me. I've got a lot of ideas for future list designs, so hopefully some of my future lists will be very interesting to you guys, because while I like the current list I'm using, I want to try other things. Having my opponent make a cover band list to use against me, I thought was really, really cool. The 3 Mammoth Hunters, the 3 Kin Eaters, the Box-a-Rock. I really enjoyed playing against it, and it was a neat themed list to go up against. This game also had some wonderful moments. My mercenary veterans I think have never been more effective. They found their fury and used it perfectly in this game. Poor Rufus, though, he got stopped just cold. It's completely my fault on that one. I threw him into a combat out of curiosity, and I set him up for failure. I'll try not to do that again, but I know I probably will. And Elizabeth, oh my god, just when I think she can't get any more amazing, she charges into the rear of the tribesman unit, and in one round of combat, drops his BSB. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. That is a flawless unit. And then in the next round, she chases down a tribesman with his general and secures me thousands of points. Oh, just couldn't have been any happier with her. She's staying in the list, period. But you know what? This was an absolutely awesome game. This guy is one of my favorite opponents to come up against. I don't get to play him all that often because he lives like 5-6 hours away. Lord Humongous, thank you so much for coming out and playing these games with me. It was a ton of fun, and I really look forward to the next time we get the opportunity to do this. And as always, I'm totally psyched for our rematch. Real quick, guys, Universal Battles, the creator is still looking for some help, some artists and stuff like that to help them make it even better. There's going to be a link in my description if you want to go check it out. Offer your services to them. It'll lead you to a forum that shows what he's looking for, why he's looking for it, and what you'll get in return. If you've got the ability, you got the time, and you got the inclination, please go check it out. Universal Battles is a cool program. Gives you all the goodness and for none of the cost, and it's an awesome opportunity for you to give back to the community if you have the ability. So if you don't mind, please go check it out. But yeah, guys, that's going to do it for this battle report number 14. Game 2 of Mini Tremendicon 2016 is in the books. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did, because I really, really enjoyed this game. As always, though, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, feel free to put them in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you as quick as I can. But yeah, guys, thanks.